This is Sarah again from Nioga, and I wanted to try and do a very quick video, and it's mainly focused here because I want to talk about these little devices. And if you have an Apple product, now I'm not 100% certain about Apple, but I do know if you have an Android product, you can actually scan items into your Google Drive, into whatever drive you are signed into. All right, so let me show you this real quick. So if you have a piece of paper, let me just find something. These are just kind of some silly notes that I wrote, but let's say I want to keep these or I need to send them, and I want a record of sending them electronically to somebody, okay? So the first thing I would do is get my notes or my stuff in order. The second thing I would do is make sure that whatever is on my notes here, that it's kind of surrounded. It's not surrounded by like a white area. It is surrounded by a darker toned area, basically so that when you take the scan will look for all of the lightest parts of the photograph that you're taking, because you're going to do the scan with the camera on your phone. All right, here's what we're going to do. I am going to hopefully back up and show you, but actually before I do that, let me put my notes down and show you first to get your, once you get your scan area ready, that is, you have your lighter paper on a slightly darker background, right? You'll want to go to your phone, and again, this is Android, and you want to be signed into your Google account. Now on my phone, I'm signed into my personal account on Gmail, and I'm also signed into the taylor@nioga.org account, so it's my work account. So make sure you know the difference between those two. What I'll do then is I will go and I will find the Google Drive logo. I will tap the logo, and as soon as I tap the logo, I see things that are in my drive. But what's important is this little plus sign down at the bottom. So when I tap the plus sign at the bottom, I get choices, and the choice I have here is to actually scan a paper. All right, so again, I have the paper laying down here and it's just on a tan background. And what I'm going to do is then I'm going to tap the scan button, and when I do that, ooh, oh boy, okay, you can actually, there I am, ooh, oh my goodness, it's Inception. You can actually see this is my camera app then that runs. So I'm going to place the piece of paper down on my desk. I'm not going to move the camera because I'm afraid it's going to go all over the place. I am going to position the camera over, let me see if I can pause this, hang on. Okay, now you can see my messy desk here, but what I've done is I've taken my camera and I've moved it, and you can see my notes are actually down here. They're on this little tan desk. The desk is kind of showing all around, and what I'm doing is centering the notepad on my camera screen, and I'm going to take a picture. And when I take the picture, it will ask me literally down here if it's okay. When I say okay, this is the tricky part. I've got to look at it, and I have to make sure, if you can see that, it's hard for me to see, that the scan literally scanned just the lighter portions of the page, and this is correct. Okay, it gives me a date and time. It says that I scanned it, and it gives me right down here the option to save. So I'm going to tap save. And when I tap save, I can save it to my drive, and you can see it has a title. It's got a little cursor there. I can go ahead and rename it, which would be very smart. And it's going to go to my work account because that's where I am signed into, and that's what I took the scan for. And it will simply go to my drive. And what I can do now is I can save it. And when I save it, it will say right down there, one file is being uploaded. It will upload while you're on Wi-Fi. Right, so I scan this into my work drive with that scanning feature in Google Drive, and you can actually see here it says scanned, and it's got the date. Okay, so this is actually in my work Google Drive because I was signed into my work account. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up on the computer that I'm on. I'm going to pull this up and hopefully show you where we are at. So here we are. You can see on the screen it says we're in kind of at the Google homepage. I look over here on the right side of the screen and I can see I'm signed in. That's my little work picture. I have to update that because I cut my hair, so we'll get that done. But I know it is my work picture, so that's really important. We don't want to mess this up with any private accounts we might have, right? But what I can do now is I go to my little grid pattern, my apps here, and I click once. And now what I'm going to do is find my work Google Drive. So it's, for me, it's right there. I'm going to click it. And when I click it, the drive is going to open up and it's going to show you, I'm going to now see right here, you can see where it is scanned. I'm going to double click that to open it. And you can then see my real important notes here. But what becomes important is I can then either choose to download it as a PDF because that's what it is. I can then attach it to an outgoing email and send it. I do this all the time with things like purchase orders or other things I need to do. Let me just back up here. It works really, really well. So basically, as long as you are signed into your work Google account, which you can do under your accounts and your settings in your phone, you can use your Google Drive to scan in items and send them. So the reason I'm saying this is because I would like you to try something like this. If you don't have a scanner at work, a lot of us do, but I would like you to scan in your monthly ILL statistics and send them to ill@nioga.org. If you've sent them already through paper, through the delivery, that is fantastic. If you haven't, no problem, but try and get those in, please, all right? And if you want to simply take the paper and scan it, and then email it to ill@nioga.org. That would be a terrific record so we would know who sent stuff in and who hasn't. You would know who sent stuff in, if you did or not. And if ILL comes back to you and says, hey, we didn't get your statistics for January, you can go into your sent folder and resend them to us. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, please email me directly at taylor@nioga.org or email ill@nioga.org. Try and scan those in and get those monthly statistics in. Thank you.